I remember the first time I laid eyes on Eliza. It was at a coffee shop tucked away in a bustling neighborhood, filled with the hum of conversation and the scent of roasted beans. She was sitting alone, scribbling in her notebook, her wild curls framing her face like a halo. There was something magnetic about her, a pull I couldn't resist. I approached her table, my heart racing as I asked if I could sit. Fast forward a few months and here we were, knitted together in a relationship that felt real, vibrant, and yet frayed at the edges. Eliza was everything I never knew I needed. She was passionate, funny, and had an infectious zest for life. But there was always a shadow lurking in our blossoming romance, her ex, Jamie. I still recall the first time she mentioned Jamie. We'd been curled up on her couch, wrapped in a cocoon of blankets, binging our favorite show. The laughter turned to silence when she sighed, staring at the half-full glass of red wine resting on the coffee table. "I'm still friends with Jamie," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. My heart sank at the name. Jamie was not just any ex. She was the one who had hurt Eliza in ways I still struggled to comprehend. I wanted to scream, to shake her and demand to know why she would keep someone like that in her life. Instead, I just nodded, trying to mask my discomfort. "It's complicated," Eliza continued, her eyes searching mine for understanding. "We've talked it through, but it's complicated." With every mention of Jamie, I felt the threads of my trust unraveling. My intuition nagged at me, told me to step back, to be wary. The warnings I had learned from past relationships tugged at my mind like an insistent child. But with Eliza, logic often faltered in the face of my overwhelming feelings, love layered with hope. Days turned into weeks, and my gut feelings turned into gnawing anxiety. I wanted to support her, to be understanding, but I also couldn't shake the fear that my heart hung in the balance. The worst part? Eliza seemed to flourish around me. She glowed, often mentioning how Jamie had taken so much from her, how she was grateful to have moved on. Yet, I couldn't help but feel like I was merely a stepping stone to her healing. One evening, as the sun dipped below the skyline, painting the sky with hues of orange and purple, I took a deep breath and confronted her. We were sitting on the balcony, the world buzzing beneath us. "Do you really think it's healthy to keep Jamie in your life?" The question hung in the air, its weight heavier than I anticipated. Eliza paused, a distant look in her eyes. "She's not the same person she was in the past. I've changed too. We're working through our problems." Her voice was steady, but the shadow of uncertainty flickered across her face. "What if she's not? What if you're still vulnerable to her?" I could feel my heart racing, a mix of fear and desperation fueling me. "I don't want to lose you." The confession was raw, unfiltered. She drew in a breath, her expression softening. "I care about you, you know that. Jamie is part of my past, but I'm not that girl anymore. Can't you trust me?" And there it was. My mind raced. Trust was one thing, but believing in the good of someone who had inflicted pain was another. I wished I could erase Jamie's existence from our lives, but I knew I couldn't. The following days were filled with confusion. I told Eliza that I'd gave her space, a chance to see what she wanted. I sought counsel from friends, who offered varying perspectives. Some encouraged me to stand by her, to embrace the messiness of life, while others warned me of the potential heartache weaving its way into our relationship. I found myself retracing my thoughts late at night when sleep would evade me. In those quiet hours, I contemplated what it meant to love and what it cost to stay in something that felt precarious. My heart ached for clarity, torn between love and self-preservation. As the weeks crept by, I felt a resolve strengthen within me. I had to choose me, even if it meant stepping away from what felt like a beautiful, albeit jagged love. Eliza was healing, but I could no longer ignore the muted echoes of Jamie's influence lingering in our lives. One evening, as we walked hand in hand beneath a starlit sky, I paused, the weight of my decision heavy upon my chest. "Eliza, I think we need to talk." And as the words began tumbling from my lips, I felt both the pain of what I might be losing and the relief of finally prioritizing my well-being. Love should feel safe, not complicated. And in taking that step, I hoped to find my own freedom, even if it meant letting go of hers.